Hey guys, what's going on? Kyle here with TheCardGuyz. I'm joined by two-time, he went back-to-back at Road to Nationals with his Chane deck, Sebastian Cavallo, the Moose. Inside joke.
Inside joke.
So, it's been a crazy couple weeks, to say the least.
Yeah. The amount of testing.
We've done, and the amount of knowledge you have with this deck, I think, is superior to most. And I mean, it showed. You've done very well.
You guys can see from the last skirmish deck profile, I've been on this deck since the week after the pre-release. So
yeah, that's very true. This is the only deck you play.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, there's no reason for you not to understand the deck as much as you did. But the first skirmish, we had 2 skirmishes in our state at the same day, and so we split the group. And
Road to Nats.
Did I say skirmish?
Yeah.
It's been one of them days. And you ended up winning the one an hour and a half away, and then Alex won the one. So we swept both, which is awesome. Then we went to Huntsville, Alabama, and you ended up winning there as well. So yeah, man. Tell me about your tournament experiences for both, because this is your 2-time Road to National winning list here. I know you want to give a couple credits, a couple shout outs and whatnot, and then maybe we can go through the matchups and then also show kind of what you played and kind of your thought process on the deck in general and where it's kind of positioned.
Yeah, that's what we plan to do. So shout outs wise, we originally, Kyle and I, we had a deck list. We changed it up a couple cards the day before the event, Saturday, the day before the Sunday event. We totally took the deck apart. We had a list set. We think this is the best list we came up with, but it was missing a little something.
Yeah,
we went to bed.
we knew it was missing something, but we just could not figure out what it was.
Yeah. We went to bed, woke up, saw Matt Rogers, I guess the same day in New Zealand.
Yeah, while we were
they're
sleeping.
a day ahead, use, spoiler alert, this card right here, Flock of the Featherwalker, and it felt like that's exactly what the deck was missing. I didn't test it, just went into the event blind with it, and I felt like it was really, it overperformed, honestly. So,
for the record, our list that we had made the night before was like 6 cards off.
Yeah, it was.
And we're like, oh, well, the cards that we had our doubts about, we took them out.
Meet and greets
exactly.
And Blue Plunder runs.
Exactly. And so we took those out for the flocks, and obviously the deck it came into shape. And we can't thank you enough for showing us that, because I mean,
really shout out to him.
We just could not figure out that one card to put this deck that much ahead of all the control matchups.
Yeah, exactly. Just that extra setup card that helps the deck go wide, because that was my main concern with the deck, that those turns where you don't have that Art of War or Shadow Puppetry in your hand to give that extra go again, and this card really fulfills that spot.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Well, what were your matchups throughout both of the
so actually have it all to the side here. So the first, a lot of Bravo and a lot of Katsu, so that's supposed to be this deck's worst matchup, but honestly I think it's a fine matchup. I think you have a very good, if you know how to play it, you have a very good chance of winning, and I think Snag's kind of overrated at the moment.
I think it's a trap card.
Yeah, it's a trap card, because you can definitely play around one Snag, that's fine, make an Ursur token, attack with that, pass the turn, and then just do the whole Riftbind turn the turn after that. So the only time I've ever lost a Snag was when they had it in Arsenal the first Riftbind turn, and then they just Nat drew into it the second, which is what do you, that's card games for you. What can you do? Yeah. So round 1 at the primetime one was Bravo. That was a win. I actually didn't even need to set up a Riftbind turn, because Flock of the Featherwalker, I resolved 3 of them throughout the game.
Yeah.
And I ended up just going wide enough to kill him. And then it was Viserai. Scary match, actually. We have not tested against Viserai at all. It was mid-range, not Sonata, OTK. And I just knew putting Crown of Dichotomy, and that kind of just helped me through. We were smacking each other back, and I knew he was, when it was important, he was trying to hold back cards to go, the Arcanine Ascendancy, dominate, try to kill me. So I just had to pop Snapdragons, put extra pressure on him, make him block out. And from there, it was just
kind of gas him out.
Exactly. Yeah. Then round 3, it was Bravo.
It's Nom, right?
Yeah, sorry, Nom. Ended up getting 9th place. So just to
Ninth place club. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And he was playing Bravo. He did the standard, try to go turtle, try to throw an attack at you once. It didn't work. You know, the rift bind is just too much if you set it up right at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Then the next match was Katsu aggro, actually. So with Katsu going in blind, I've just started siding in Aether Iron Weave all the time because it helps so much during the control matches that even though you lose the 6 block in the aggro matches, I think you're still fine. And yeah, it's just a race at that point, and I just drew 2 Enlightened Strikes. I kept 2 Command and Conquers in, and I saw them. So I was just resolving all the good generics. That's what aggro matches kind of come down to. Who sees the more Art of Wars and Command and Conquer, E-Strikes, all that. And then it was the last round where I played the Prism player, Florida player, very good. And he caught me totally off guard. I was expecting Herald beat down, maybe a little hybrid, but he went full Aura Control. I had no testing against this, so I kind of misplayed, thought every single Spectra had an Arclight Sentinel effect, so I would just ram into the Spectras and forgot that you could attack before you did that, so it was fine. And
Still got
lost
to the
that
top
game.
8.
Yeah, lost that game, but I knew in my mind if I saw him again, I realized a misplay on the second time after I did it, and I'm like, that's not going to happen in finals. If we do play, or in top cut, if we do play, I'm gonna win this match. And then the top cut of the tournament, I was 4-1 after Swiss. Top cut of the tournament, I win Katsu mid range. Surprisingly, he had some good hands. He had some combo hands, so he was actually able to put on some decent damage. But at the end, huge Riftbind turn got him. That's kind of the story with this deck. It's either race or a huge Riftbind turn at the end of the game gets you. So, and then won that one. Then the next match was Control Katsu again.
Same outcome.
Same outcome. Riftbind turn, Ursur token. Did that. Then it was the Prism player who went 5-0 in the tournament. In the finals, played against him.
Learned your mistake. Learned from your mistakes.
Learned from my mistakes. Got the time potion established on turn 3, so it was pretty easy after that. I think killing ALS in that deck kind of really hurt, so it helped, and that was the prime time.
Yeah.
Then getting into the Huntsville that we just played yesterday, round 1 was mid-range Katsu.
Shout out to Sam.
Shout out to Sam. Did the same siding in, just sided in like couple. We'll get into it, but Aether Iron Weave, and helps a lot during that match. Then the next round, also mid. Sorry, I'm looking at a notepad over here.
Here you go.
Next round was also mid-range Control Katsu.
There was a lot of Katsu at that time.
Yeah, there was a lot.
I think
of
out of like the
Katsu.
24 players, like 10 of them were playing Katsu.
Yeah. It was a lot of Katsu, a lot of Chane at that tournament. But surprisingly, very diverse top 8.
Yeah.
I think it was like a couple Prisms, a Dash, a Bravo,
A Dorinthia,
Dorinthia.
the rest Katsu,
Yeah.
and then like 2 chains.
Yeah, Chane is a deck that has a very bad turnover rate from like player base into actually top 8.
Yeah.
So then it was Bravo, lost because Nam actually changed up his deck.
I'm
and
surprised with his how well his deck performed.
Yeah, we definitely need to get a profile on that soon. He went 5-0 actually after the tournament, and he's playing this aggro Bravo, some crazy stuff. He twice in the game E-striked into Crippling Crush. So it went E-strike, go again, and then had enough pitch for Crippling Crush. It was kind of devastating, did that, and then Zilli's beating into Hammer. It's just too much for me to take, so I actually ended up losing that. And there was a Chain Mirror. Beat that.
You went more gorilla than he did.
Yeah, exactly. Saw more Plunder. He went Plunder Run Blue, Soul Reaping, did his turn, and then I went Plunder Run Red from Arsenal, Soul Reaping, and did almost the exact same thing as he did. So it's like whoever can just race you faster, go more gorilla, as we like to say. And then the last round was another Katsu. So actually the same dude, the top 4 that I played. Yep. And that was a win, Control. And then top cut was Prism or a Control again.
Your match against that Prism player, your whole experience in top 8 at this tournament was ridiculous.
I was a little on fire already with the
crazy.
mills and everything. But I feel like the deck was designed to do that, and even you're gonna have some times where you mill 5 generics in the top cut. I actually did it, but it's fine. You know, you have enough good turns to kind of counterbalance that with the build and beat the Prism player. I think I got time snap potion established.
You did. You got it like established like turn 2 or 3 or something like that. And when you put it down, his face is like, oh shit, really? You know, so
yeah, that spoiler alert, time snap potions in the deck. Overperforming against Prism if you see it. And then it was Dory, Josh.
Shout out to Josh. One of the nicest players I think we met in this game.
He won a Road to Nats with Dory. Very experienced, very skilled player. But honestly, it's a race, and that game was crazy.
You put 30 damage on board turn like 5 or 4.
I think it was turn 3.
Turn 3.
Turn 3, put 30 damage on board, had a huge Shadow Puppetry into Flock the Feather Walker. I had set up a Quicken Token already, so I had a 9 attack turn.
It was absurd.
It was absurd.
I've never seen anything like that.
Art of War, all of that. It was crazy. And I took him down from 35 to 9 life in one turn. It was insanity. So I won that game. And then in the finals, it was Katsu again. So,
all the Katsu.
All the Katsu control decks.
He seemed like he was ahead a lot in that game for a while. Like he was playing that deck very well.
He was.
And then you kind of Oonga Boonga'd him at the end.
Yeah, with Katsu Control, it's like they can kind of win that beginning to mid-game. All that really matters is that you're putting on enough pressure to kind of get their hand size down 3 cards. So worst they can do is like Kadachi or Kadachi, you know, Arsenal something, or Arsenal, or a Kadachi 1 for 5 or 1 for 4, which, you know, they might get you in the early game, but late game, as long as you're setting up your huge Riftbind turn, you're going to win that. Even if they see a snag because you just Ursa. So
yeah,
but overall the deck performed wonderful, and
so you went like what 14-2 these past 2 weekends with the deck.
Yeah, it was really great. So I think we can get into the list.
Okay, let's go.
So Nebula, standard weapon. We didn't really test Reaping Blade, but I think Nebula is the way you want to go.
Only way to go.
Yeah. Arcanite Skullcap. This was the only headpiece I was playing other than, you know, the Null Rune. Was not playing Ebonfold. I just like blocking. So yeah.
Is that an American thing?
It's an American thing. I don't know. I just like blocking. Don't like the Ebonfold. Personally. Carrion Husk. So the 2 chess pieces I played was Carrion Husk and Aether Iron Weave. They're both great. Carrion Husk just overperforms as a card in general. I think it's like for 6 block on equipment.
For what it is,
it's one of the best cards in the game, really. Grasp of the Arcanite does its job well. The creating rune chant effect comes up every single game. When we originally played the deck, you know, I wasn't really using this effect as much, but as I played it and through the skirmish season, I realized this sinking 2 mana for a rune chant is amazing, and the block 2 is also amazing. Snapdragons, go again.
Yeah, right. Unga Boonga.
Yeah, exactly. Aether Iron Weave, the 2 resources against Control Katsu comes up a lot more than I think Carrion does, because like, yeah, they could have like a 5, you know, Pounding Gale or Torrent of Tempo or Mugenshi Nat combo, but Carrion Husk in the Control Katsu match kind of puts you on a timer, so if they do get it out, so I like to just keep this.
Yeah.
And then I respect Kano, so this is for Viserai, and then I was like, I'm not losing to the 1 Kano player round 1, so I'm going to make sure to play that.
Understood.
Soul Reaping, the best one of the best 1-ofs in the deck, so love this card. It's at 1 for a reason. It's legendary. Rip Through Reality. So I was playing 3 in prime time, and then I cut it down to 2 for another Ghostly Visit, which I like a lot more because I felt like the 2 mana was a little bit much and it was sitting in my banished a little bit too often. But Ghostly Visit, 1 for 4, solid all around. I just like it.
Really good synergy with Shadow of Berserker too.
Exactly. Yeah, I love banishing this because it doesn't have a requirement to play a non-attack action or anything.
Yeah, it's just you just play it.
Exactly. And then Unhallowed Rites, really, at first we didn't, like, you know, you think Riftbind or Bounding is one of the best Blood Deck cards, but really
This is the card that sets up everything.
I know, this card is amazing. As you play the deck more and more, you realize how important Untitled Rights is. 1 for 4, which, you know, magic numbers in this game, 4. And the fact that it puts Howled from Beyond's on the bottom, Seeds of Agony's on the bottom, it's just one of the best cards in the deck.
Yep.
Bounding Demigod, 0 for 4, we love it. Riftbind, you know, sets up the huge turns. It feels bad to mill early, but you have to play the number you do, which is 6, just to off-center to make sure you see it late game. Get it in your hand, pitch it to the bottom. And then here's the Matt Rogers and Nick. I don't know his last name, but Nick is the deck builder. Nick Butcher. This is their tech, and it's amazing. It's exactly what the deck was missing, and I love it. Going to be playing this all season. E-Strike, I think it's better than Snatch, and the Go Again comes in clutch. It really does. So for the non-attack actions, you have the 9 seeds, which we'll get into, but you have Howled from Beyond, one of my favorite cards in the deck. Yeah, I love doing this because on those huge Riftbind turns where you see the snag incoming, you just go Howled, play like a couple seeds, and your Riftbind still comes in for 9 or 12 damage, and they still have to full block it. They play the snag, and honestly, after that, you just make an Ursur token, and then you just hold your other Seeds of Agony, do the huge Riftbind turn the next turn after, and usually you have more seeds in the banish because you set it up.
Yeah.
And then going into the most gorilla card of the deck. We love this card, Plunder Run Red. You have to beat your chest every time you play it from Arsenal.
You have to beat your chest. So easy a gorilla could do it.
Yeah, it's so easy a gorilla could do it. And then Shadow Puppetry. This really should say Shadow Actions, but it doesn't. So you just go E-Strike, 6 draw a card with Go Again, or E-Strike, 8 Go Again.
So many things.
It feels great. 9 Seeds of Agony.
Self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory, deals Arcane, non-attack action, sets up everything. Yellow Riftbind, we're only playing the yellows I don't like, other than Unhallowed Rights Blue for the control matches. I don't like Blue Blood Debt at all. I've been very against it, so we're only playing 6 of the Riftbinds. I never feel like it's too little or too much. Art of War, amazing. It literally feels like this is a Shadow instant, not a generic instant, really. Then going into the blues are the thing that you can change up the most in the deck.
They're definitely flexible.
Very flexible. Meet and Greet blues, it just has that Go Again, so if you have an all blue hand, you can change it for anything you want, as long as I think it's a 3 block and it does something. It's good. Vexing.
That's a mandatory.
Mandatory, steals games, guarantees arcane damage effects. Shadow of Ursur, just the best blue, the only blue blood deck we really play because it's 3 block, 0 cost, fits everything.
Yep.
Gains, it has Go Again on its own. Butchering his name. Marvin Skies.
Marvin Skies, yeah.
Marvin Skies. Yeah, gives something Go Again, does the rune chant, if it hits, make a rune chant, so makes your 1 for 4s Nebula Blade, and feels great for a blue especially. And then Flock Blue. We were playing Plunder Run Blues, but I feel like Flock performed way better than Plunder Run Blues because I'd rather have another source to Go Again than threatening the draw card.
Yeah.
So.
And this is the main deck, right?
That's the main deck. I think this is exactly 60 cards, and in your aggro matches, you usually just want to just play this.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the side deck where that's where you side in for control, like Katsu control and Bravo, and yeah, just any control deck. So Command and Conquer, I've actually loved to play this. 2 of this. Take out
like anything.
Almost in anything, because my theory is that in the aggro matches, whoever resolves more cards like Command and Conquer, Art of Wars, Plunder Runs, E-Strikes are the people who are winning the game. And if you can Command and Conquer, get a Plunder Run out of Arsenal, get an Art of War out of Arsenal, or in the mirror matches, Shadow Puppetry out of Arsenal, it feels amazing.
Also forces them to block too.
Yeah, it forces the block. So even if you don't get that out of Arsenal, you are just forcing the blocking. You have so many ways to pump this up with plunder runs or Howl from Beyond, or just Shadow Puppetry 7 Go Again. Never feels bad. So, but also Prism. This card's just amazing all around. There's a reason it's $100 right now. Unhallowed Rites Blue, the only blue Blood Dead I've ever liked. So you just put this in for the control matches to recycle seeds, because sometimes you get unlucky. And you mill your Howl from Beyonds and your Seeds of Agonies early. There's nothing you can really do, so more cards to just put it back. Time Zap Potion exclusively for Prism, in my opinion. Really love it. When you see it against Prism, it just makes them feel bad that they put ALS in the deck. So, Seeping Shadow, we were iffy about this on first, then that Saturday where we were testing everything, threw it in the deck, and I think against Bravo this is amazing, and against Katsu it's overperformed. It makes you not feel bad about using Snapdragon Scalers, so you can use it one turn to get their life total low, so then you have this to go in late game with a huge Riftbind. And then Eclipse is a legendary. It's amazing. Urster token. You resolve it almost every time against control decks. So,
Awesome. Anything else?
Overall, I just think a lot of the deck comes down to sequencing. Really.
I very much agree.
So my advice, if you are playing Chane, is learn the deck. Just jam as many games as possible and really just get used to it. I think that helps a lot. I don't think there's anything really much else.
Because people just tend to think that this deck just is on an autopilot deck. When, like, for the most part, like, you just throw cards out, right? But knowing when to play certain things, knowing when to hold cards that you mill to do X, Y, and Z play is, like, honestly the reason why you've been doing so well. And so people need to understand that.
You just have to understand that sometimes you have to make calls in your gameplay, like if you know you're both at low life, you're going back and forth against another Chane player, they're at 10, you're at 9, and they're holding back every single card in their hand, and they take those first 2 attacks and they're just like, take, because they think they're going to have 1 life left. That's when you have to go, I have to pop the Snapdragons and push extra damage, and making calls like that, that's going to help your gameplay overall. And it does take skill. In my aggro matches, not so much, but in the control matches, very much so.
Knowing when to play around the snag, or how to, because people I've watched like yesterday, they don't play around the snag and they get blown out.
Oh yeah, if you don't play around the snag, if you just go, all 6 Seeds of Agony, Howl from Beyond, Riftbind, and they go on reveal snag, it's just like you just lost that. But if you go 3 Seeds of Agony, get rid of your blue ones, and go Howl from Beyond, maybe a second Howl, and then go Riftbind. If they don't have the snag, then you're just hitting. Then you just go off. If they do, then okay. Then you just set it up for next turn. You save 4 Seeds of Agony for next turn, and your Riftbinds are still going to hit for more than enough to kill them. So
awesome, man. Well, again, our group is proud of you for doing so well.
I'm proud.
Is there any shout-outs you want to give or anything like that to any in particular individuals?
Well, I just want to shout out the community overall. We have a great armory set up here that helps me test, essentially, because we get to play armories 5 nights a week, so I get a wide variety of decks to play against.
We do have a pretty awesome player base.
Yeah, we have an awesome player base. My team in general, they help me get to these events, and they help me test and talk to me. Card choices at 3 a.m.
Damn it.
Exactly. And Matt Rogers, of course, because that tech is really what the deck needed. So I'm very happy with that. And, of course, on YouTube, I pick up things all the time from content creators. On Discord, read through the Runeblade chat, the Chane chat. So people from there, just reading through little interaction stuff that helps every player. So shout out to all them too.
Awesome, man. Well, again, thanks so much for doing this video. Show off your spoils.
Exactly, right there. Just want to show that off real quick.
That card's literally beautiful.
Oh, I know.
Jesus, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that makes 2 now. All right. Well, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like. If you see any cards in this list that you would like, we're gonna have a link to our TC Player affiliate link down below. If you want to pick up any of these cards, I would suggest if you are planning on doing well and want to play a deck and learn a deck that's going to treat you well.
Yeah.
This is the deck for it. You just have to put in the time and the effort to test it, play it. Like you said, jam games.
Yeah, that's the best way to learn any deck in any card game. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. And this has been Sebastian and Kyle with the Card Guys. We'll see you guys the next time.
Yeah.